What's going on, YouTube? Time for another exciting recap here. Fresh start to the week. Huge green. We had a lot of range on this one. Let's get into it. A lot of beautiful stuff happening. So as we noted 5 hours ago on the X, we said, if it ever loads, there we go. We have closed both price action gaps on the fibs, the VIX with a gap up to overbought setting territory. We mentioned that the standard deviation +2 is a no-no for the VIX. We do not stay up there very long, especially without catalyst. This was the main driver for the long consensus today. So the standard deviation +2 is not something you're going to see the VIX over without CPI, Powell, something absolutely massive. It is a Monday morning with nothing going on. There is no reason for this. So in the world of technical analysis, we were 100% long today, giving you guys the jam. Biggest recovery point was about 20K.10. We mentioned there we get there. Called this long right here off the bottom. I said we're going to go up to 481. This would be a no problem. This is the golden pocket of a daily. So this long call right here off the pre, we just needed to dip, hold, and push to 481. That was an easy long call there. And the algos that we had. So we had a back-to-back algo. The first one populated, and then a second 5-minute candle populated. We'll get into this. This is pre-market on QQQ, and said, yay, we finally got a Q's algo to play. Scams coming, baby. So we're going to force this puppy up to a continued scam long. And we've seen that coming from these fibs as well. So what we usually do is we see these algos on Think or Swim, and the pre-market is where these exist, right? There's some other ones, but we pay attention to the pre. The fib box right here, golden pocket, and off and away is the best case scenario we talked about this morning during our predictions. In our last long we'll get into today, I did a 155 point call. So my closed out trades here today, we're anchor on the VWAPs as well. So our last but not least, we'll go over some daily anchors. These are daily anchors. We have no test here 24th, no test here 26th. You see these anchors coming off the bottom of the candles, right? And then we hit into that support 476.70s to 477.66. Nice box there. And same with the SPY coming down to a triple band daily, big support there. And that's where we caught a lot of the bounce, right? So good P&Ls locked in today. We ended up doing just under 3K on ES. We added about $800 some to the ES, and we lost a little bit on NQ. So regardless, we're a smidge under 5 and a smidge under 3K for the day on both ES and NQ. Let's get into it. So that first call that we made, let's get into, we'll get to the actual daily fib first here. So we'll go to this guy. We'll bring this guy over. So on TradingView here, I'll shrink it up to 1. This was the long call. Target. Okay, we're hitting that right now, and I'll show you exactly how we got way up here on our other chart that we needed a back test of as well. So this was a daily Fibonacci, right? And we had this one pegged out. This is the long post we posted on Twitter from right here. So we needed that dip out of the gate, higher low structure for support, and go. Okay, so how else would it be deemed an appropriate trade here? What else do we need? What else could we possibly draw here, right? We're going to go over our NQ trade for the overnight and the Q's trade today. So this one is the high-low of the giant engulfing candle. Gotta be, right? So this is how we played this one. We put the engulfing candle here, and I told my crew in the Discord that this Fibonacci box was going to be our play, where we're going to higher low from here, and SPY would get a double bottom area, higher low potential. Q's popped up. We hit our anchor, came down, golden pocket, right to the T. Boom, 1618, boom, and to the target we called long on X, hitting right now near 481, but we're at 41.14. So that is the long call, okay? So we had about 155 points here from that higher low, and we posted this one on X way before it happened. That's where we're going to see that long target today. On to the next one. So we had an algo, right? These two algos that we had on QQQ. And that engulfing 5-minute bottom fib is really fancy, but this one right here, we had left some data to be attuned to, right? If we are looking at the second high-low right here off the fib box, we have data. I like the yellow one, Think or Swim for some reason. We got to get this out of here. There we go. Fib box, algo, okay, right here. And then we had an opportunity for this recovery. We fell out of this Fibonacci zone right here, right? So if you see, oh, it's a little difficult to see on the volume. Shrink this sucker down. All right. So we had a couple different reasons to take this long off the extension. So we broke down the algo structure, came back into the fibs and launched, okay? So we had this algo that needed downside touch. So we thought for sure we get a little drain out of the gate here. Came down to the -2 VWAP a couple times to pick back up, and we found confirmation on the 1618 for support. So when we point those fib boxes to the downside, we look for the 1618 and 2618. We shied the 2618, snapped back up, That is a chase. That is not the first trade. We don't worry about that chase, right? We worry about the pop to pullback to long, right? And if you fibbed out the box, like we just said right here on the 5-minute golfing, this is the golden pocket. So it doesn't get any easier than this higher low right here, waiting for confirmation. That first run up tag, unless it's a V reversal, I don't really care about. I worry about the higher low and secondary push, and that's what I left my team with today. Now, how did we get a target way up here, and how did we know these targets were going to come way up here? Backtest anchor confirmations that never happened, okay? They never came back down. So let me pull up this other chart here on Qs. This is a 5-minute chart for anchor VWAPs, okay? This is yesterday's high, last trade day high. And if you notice, we don't have a first tag. And I'm very adamant on the algorithms and how they speak to each other and a first tag, right? A tag of this level. Do you see candle price action tag in this orange line? You do not. There is no first tag at all this whole day. So that leads me into believe the next day that we have a very big potential to back test the ever calculating, ever evolving anchor VWAP from yesterday's highs. Now, we do have a couple other intras here that we had played with as well, but that is where we got that long-term target, and that's what I left my crew with before we left on the premium Discord. We had the higher low, and I said we would come all the way up here. I know it looked far away, but 155-point call long there, baby. Nailed that one. So into ES real quick. I will go over SPY because we did have some high-low interesting areas there on ES and SPY. And I will go over, actually, I lied. We're going to go to NQ real fast because I want to go over the Twitter call from last night, okay? And the big over-under, because we had a really good over-under here. So we posted on X and Twitter that we have this high-low range on the 15, right? And this was the high-low range, and we picked this golden pocket of 19,949. Give the post a check over there on X. That was our over-under for the day. And any recovery or destruction of that, we have big opportunities both ways, right? So what happened is we had that little snake that broke out of the fib, but we needed that, right? Because the after hours trade session where we just started, you know how we draw these fib boxes of the high-low ranges, and when they leave price action gaps, so you can see these gaps I drew on here, these gray boxes. That's a gap where if you zoom in really close to your high-low, we don't have any data from the Fibonacci high-low, right? So we're off just a smidge there on that Fibonacci. There we go. So from the high of the Fibonacci, we have this gray box that has no data in. And then on the bottom of that high-low Fibonacci, we have, again, this red candle that left a box of data, right? So what do we have to fill those gaps before primarily having a move. And we know how lovely the Q is at slipping past levels and then snapping back. So this Fibonacci range, we still needed to take the top of the range and the bottom. So what happened at 5 p.m.? We had a 3 down. We called 19,949. After that call, it went where? Right to the top to fill that price action gap. Boom. Then where did it go? Right to the bottom to, again, fill that price action gap of the Fibonacci. Okay. Beautiful after hour trades. Comes into pre-market. We start getting the just sideways consolidation. Opens up on a volatile move, slams down. A lot of that was because of the VIX precursor, and then moves back up because the whole long shot long was the macro thesis of the day, right? Because we have the VIX gapped up into the standard deviation +2. So the market's going to front run, and it's going to scare out the psychology of the shorts. It's going to or scare up the psychology of the shorts. We're going to push down here. We're going to launch it down, and the psychology of the shorts are, oh my God, we're breaking down. It's over. We're under the 10 SMA daily. We're going to start getting this downside. No, you're not. There's no reason for that. The VIX is not set up for that. We're not set up for catalysts. We have nothing and no rhyme or reason to do so. So the market is going to fake out the shorts. It's going to create this trap where it starts breaking through really good Fibonacci structure like we have here, and then it's just going to reverse on you, snap back, because you don't understand exactly how the algos run with emotion and how they trick you every single time. And this is another really big piece of the puzzle. This is yesterday's full high range candle. Okay, see the fibs that we have here? We'll change all these to white real quick. I think I already did that actually. Gold pocket, that's the bottom. We did. Okay, so we're going to delete the 15-minute fibby to that upside. We're going to utilize just the look of yesterday's high-low candle. Okay, so you see that fib range, 19,904 to 20,277. That is the last trade day's high-low. Okay, so if I just go into that without the 15-minute Fibonacci, you notice here that we break out of yesterday's candle just a little bit, and then once that's recovered, it is guaranteed back test of golden pocket unless outsourced news of some kind of crazy stuff. And this is where we got our prediction calls from. Okay, so where did that come from? Well, again, on X, if you go back to the X and scroll down to last night, go to the profile here real fast. Get some slow loads here. we did break this all down, and we also called every single major price action that we had in between. So we said here NQ is opening a 15-minute fib. We explained where the fibs are and the ranges, and then we called the long targets if we stay above. Here's the 38.20, right? Oh, can't see that on the screen. We're actually too low. I'm gonna fix that up real fast. Boom, boom. Alrighty, so we have this opportunity right here to see that NQ and targetable from the called level of 19,949. I don't care if something breaks down like through that a little bit, but if it recovers it and starts utilizing it on trend, we have an uptrend from this level. That's an over under. That's what it happens to utilize. And I said if we do get over that and hold over that, we're going to 20,200 and 20,087. Those are our targets for the day. Where do we get those? Yesterday's candle, right? Yesterday's high low candle. So boom, here's the golden pocket. So we are inside yesterday's lows right here, dash blue line, 19,904. And then we have an opportunity to see a hold of that candle, and we will retrace to the golden pocket of the daily candle, right? Because psychology states we're going to break back out. We're going to trap the shorts to give them another little lower high test. And everybody's like, oh my goodness, a lower high. We got this. But if you use oscillation indicators, you realize you don't got nothing. You got nothing at all. You look at the 5-minute chart and we say, we got MAC crosses with higher low. We got RSIs coming off of higher lows. We got everything but, convergence here working very well. We got everything to that upside because we need to take those fibs. Those fibs love back test. So I don't think we're just going to straight line up to these fibs, but these are the ending goals for the day. So we're going to get that 20,080 and 20,020 we already have right now. So this is target one off that Twitter call post, or X, comes down from here, another higher low structures gain, and even into tomorrow, we are still going to watch all the way up towards 20,080, 20,090, because that is the 50 retrace of yesterday's daily candle. That was a really fun day today, and we did pretty good as far as the accuracy goes. And let's see on SPY real quick. I'll just touch base with the fibs that we had for the walk down. Okay, so we had a walk down fib here on SPY, and that was again, I'll just redraw it here. We'll just redo this one. So this was that data PCE last Friday. Boom. And we also had a walk down there, that 423.60. So a recovery of that walk down fib, because we know fibs like to walk down and then walk back up. So if you see this fib range right here, the box from PCE, it walks down to the 1618, 2618, 423.60. Okay. All the numbers right here, 423.60, 2618, 1618. And then after it hits a 423.6, it goes once in a while, I'd say less than a 2% chance in the same day, the 666, and that's a hard one to explain, but I only get into that one for my premium chat. It's a little different setup. So anything over a 423.6 is going to start walking itself back up. And that's again where we're getting those target ranges, because we opened up into the 2618, we bumped their head, and we're like, oh man, we're going to come back down. This is a prior, right? The prior one, 1618 back test, and then the data Fibonacci came in right here, 544.55, holds this. Now the next target is this 2618. So we go back to 546.26, and then we're going to go back to 547.50 on the SPY. Those are the potentials, right? I don't care so much about those. I'm worried about the Qs and the NQs back test of yesterday's high-low range. This is my biggest trade watch here, because we already called 155 points from the higher low and the fibs that worked out there. Now we should get a press back up, and our last two ending trades are going to be 20,046, 20,090. And that could be today, that could be tomorrow, but regardless, that long call that we posted yesterday at 5 p.m. is coming to fruition. And then, of course, with those other little bits and pieces that we had posted for free on X there, they're out there. So if you want to trade with us live and watch me narrate this stuff on screen share on Zoom in our private Discord, I do it every single morning. We have codes for that. For discount code coming up 4th of July, there's going to be another one. If you trade with Apex Trading Fund, TG33 is my code as well. If you want to trade with us with the funded account programs, we love them over there. Support the channel. Links are in the description. We'll see you on the next.